Okay, it's time for us to keep working on the unit circle. This time we're going to unwrap it. However, before we do that, I heard this great joke today. I want to share it with you. So you want to know what my favorite one-liner is? Ready for this? Isn't that just dumb? Sorry. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. You, at this point, are getting pretty close to knowing the unit circle and all the values that go on the unit circle. So this is all in your head, or you're going to have it handy on a piece of paper to do what we're about to do. What we want to do is take all these values from the unit circle over here, and we're going to transfer them onto an XY axis over here. You're going to get to do this 4 times. You're going to do it once where you put the the degree measures along the x-axis. So you're just going to go all the way around the circle, transfer, we're going to put degrees across the x-axis. We're going to take, for our y-coordinate, we're going to use our sine value, which is our, remember, the sine value is your y-coordinate from the unit circle. Then we're going to do it again with cosine. Now, if we weren't at home doing this at home and we're at school, I would force you to do this on graph paper by hand. But since we're getting all techie here, what I'm going to do is have you use DesMos. So in our Google Classroom page, I posted a link to this DesMos sheet that is set up for you already. So when you open up DesMos, I've got directions for you. This is the Unwrapping the Unit Circle DesMos activity. So over here, remember on the top right corner up here, you've got your settings. This should be set in degree mode. I'm showing you this because you're going to switch it for phase 2 of this activity. I've already reset the x-axis. Remember, we're talking degrees on the x-axis, so I reset the x-axis. So it goes from negative 10 degrees up to 360 degrees. I picked 360 because that's a full circle. And then the angles, I could have picked, count by every 15 angles or something. I picked 30 degrees because there's a lot of 30-degree angles on the unit circle. The y-axis, we're doing our sine wave. The y-axis on the unit circle never goes below -1 and never goes above +1. So I just kind of picked numbers that are a little bit lower than -1 and a little bit higher than +1. And I just picked 1/4, 1/4 for our tick marks along the y-axis. So that's how that's set up. Then all you're going to do is you're going to go into this table that I have set up. And in this X column, you're going to put all the angles from the unit circle. So if I work my way around the unit circle, I've got a 0-degree angle, a 30-degree angle. Next one's going to be a 45-degree angle. If I go down to the next one, next row in my thing, I'm going to put a 60-degree angle. Then I'm going to put a 90-degree angle. Remember, you spent some time memorizing these. Then I go 90 plus 30. I'm going to have 120-degree angles. You get to keep going all the way around the unit circle until you get all the way up to 360 degrees. Then for this first graph, when you're going to put in a y-coordinate, that's the sine value. And I tried to put that in the column up here by the y, but DesMos didn't like that. So you're just going to have to remember, I think I wrote it up here. Yeah, I wrote it up in that first note. We're doing sine value. So 0 degrees has a sine value of 0 degrees. Of 0, sorry. 30-degree angle has a sine value of 1/2. We go over and then we go up 1/2. 45 degrees has a sine value of the square root of 2 over 2. So I'm going to go square root of 2 divided by 2. No. Let's see what I just did. Wish I could say I did that on purpose. You got to have that divided by outside the radical sign. So now the square root of 2 is on top of the fractional by itself. And notice what happens is it popped this point on my graph over here. When you go to 60 degrees on the unit circle, the y-coordinate or the sine value of 60 degrees is going to be the square root of 3. So I'm going to square root of 3, get out of the radical. I'm going to go divided by 2. And now I have another dot. So you're going to do that all the way around. When you get that done, I'm not going to do it for you. When you get that done, then I have more notes for you. So I'm going to let you do that. That shape of the graph you get is going to be a shape that you need to learn and memorize. So then after you're all done, you're going to go right up here in the Y1 column. You're going to tap that green dot and turn off all those green dots from your grid so you have a nice clean sheet to work on. And then you're going to go down, you're going to read the directions, same idea. We're going to come down to this next table of values. Well, I've got the 0 degrees in there, and this time we're going, for our y coordinate, we're going to use the cosine value. So 0 degrees has a cosine value, which is that x coordinate on the unit circle, is 1. Then I'm going to go 30 degrees. 30 degrees has a cosine value of the square root of 3. I'm going to move over so I'm out from under the radical, divided by 2. So root 3 over 2. So now I've got that second purple dot. I'm going to go to 45 degrees. The cosine of 45 degrees is the square root of 2. Arrow out from under the radical and go divided by 2. And just keep going all the way around. I'm not going to finish that for you either because I don't want to ruin the fun. So after you've done that, you're going to share your link with me. To share the link, after you have all the dots on there, you're going to come back up, you're going to turn back on the first graph, and it's going to have dots all the way across the screen. You're going to go up here in the top right-hand corner and click on this rectangle with the little share arrow. You're going to get a link, you're going to copy that link, and then you're going to email it to me. Then, that's phase 1. Phase 2, you're going to come back into these tables. You're going to clear everything out. Just clear it all out, and you're going to do it again, except the second time through, I'm going to let you pretend that I cleared all those out. You're going to go back into the wrench up here in the top right-hand corner, and you're going to do it again, but this time you're going to work in radian. So I'm going to switch this to radian mode. And then in radians across the x-axis, the radians aren't this big. They're going to go from, let's go from like, I think I said -3 to, I want to go to 2 pi, but 2 pi, 2 times 3.14 or 6.28. So I'm just going to put 7 for my biggest x value. And then I don't want to step by 30s. That's way too much. I'm going to step by, let's just go by 1s because we can. And then the y-axis can stay the same. So I've switched my mode over. These numbers, I guess I didn't save any time by doing this. I'm going to take all of these out of here because these x's are not the same. I guess 0 degrees, sine of 0 is 0. Let me come down here, just get you started. If I skip too much, I might just make it worse. So if I go on the radian measures, the first angle up at that 30-degree mark, that was pi over 6. So I think I can get pi. Where is that bugger? Oh no, it's over here. I do that every time. Just come back. Pi is down here in the bottom left side by the square root sign. I'm going to go pi divided by 6. And there's my turns out my sine value is still 1/2. Next line down, the next angle up is pi over 4. So I'm going to grab my pi. I'm going to divide it by 4, and the sine value is square root of 2 over 2, so I can leave that. My next one is pi over 3. You're going to do that all the way around. You're going to continue down here in this next one. You're going to come back in here. You're going to delete out these degrees. Maybe. Doesn't like me. And you're going to go around the unit circle putting in your radian measures. A couple reasons for doing it. You want to practice those learning those values, and you want to learn the shapes of these graphs. All right, that should do us. Have fun, guys.